Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 6 of the Home Improvement Podcast. This is season 2, and I'm here again, and so is, of course, Elizabeth. And we will be diving into some interesting topics today, one of which we touched upon last time very briefly. We just mentioned the name of new builds. And I just wanted to ask Elizabeth, more because you have, a lot of experience, having worked with so many different houses, different projects, different clients. Would you say there's a difference between, working with a new build and working with an old house? And would you get a new build yourself? What's your sort of personal evaluation of the whole thing, and why or why not?
Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. So I think I flip backwards and forwards, and I think this is probably the same with everyone, really. So with your new builds, a lot of people like them because you've got your warranties and your guarantees. A lot of people are cautious of them because they can be soulless. And you don't know the quality of the fittings that have been used. And also with a new build, one of the things when I suggested a new build that I had thrown back to me was you don't know what that area is going to turn into. You don't know.
Oh, true. Yeah, I've never thought about that.
The neighbours and the feel of the place over the years. And that was the big reason as to why we didn't buy one. One of the things that I was quite keen on, though, thinking about the new builds, is one, because they all look shiny and new. And the landscaping always looks nice on a new build. Once you get past, the curbs are, you've got to abseil down because the road's not built and things. Once you get past that, they tend to be quite nice areas, especially in Milton Keynes. I love the ones that look over the new wharf, absolutely beautiful. And I think, yes, you are buying all of the fixes and fittings that they've put in there, but it is neutral and you know that you're going to go in there and put that personality in there. For me, that kitchen and the bathroom are going to be relatively basic fixings, which I can live with, but also very easy to remove and start again. So just that blank canvas really appeals to me without inheriting past owners' mistakes. So if you take our home, which has had, 100 years worth of living in there and renovations and changes, abuse, love, issues, structural issues, or even kind of 20 years, you don't know what's happened in that time. You do find issues with things like electrics or flooring or leaks that no one knew about, or some mold or blown windows. All of these things, as you know from buying your property, are things that you inherit and you have to either decide to live with or invest in and change. So I think it's kind of 6 of one and half a dozen of the other with that. But the pro to buying the existing house is what that community turns out like. In a kind of brief walk around, if it's a clean area, a tidy area, if you've got kids hanging out at the park, all of those things are already visible, whereas they're not with the new build. So
that was one of the things that attracted us to our village. People saying hello on the street. We're like, that's nice.
Did we move up north?
People are so much nicer.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of the play that I have in between the two.
On the back end of that, though, I have heard, and we've had clients as well that have come to us with a new build, and we have gone and done surveys on these, and there is sometimes, not always, but a considerable amount of snagging issues, things that are not addressed. And I've heard, just in the finishes department, I think I remember a client we did, and then I think it was the kitchen that we were doing some remodeling on that, and it was not planned very well. It's usually very, not just basic, but just the bare minimum, which I think is a different thing. So it doesn't really, in order to answer to everyone's needs to be sellable, then it just doesn't answer anyone's needs. So you're sort of stepping into, yes, a blank canvas, but you're investing a huge amount of money, because new builds cost so much when they're bought from new, into something where potentially you need to immediately almost invest another amount of money to make it more suitable to you. Does that?
Yeah, that does, but that can happen on both, is kind of what I'm thinking. But I know what you mean. So you walk in and you go, oh, this is a really nice open plan living, or a kitchen diner, or a kitchen family area, separate diner, which you know, whatever it is. And then you start to move in and you realize you've got an inaccessible corner with the plumbing running through it, the sink, the dishwasher, an end panel, a hob unit, fridge, freezer, and oven. And you think to yourself, okay, so where do my plates go? Because I've got these little narrow units which I can't reach on the wall to put my plates in. So that happens a lot, because it is the bare minimum so that people can get mortgages on the property. And again, with the bathroom, you know, are the chrome fittings going to last and things, because of the quality, because it is about appealing to the masses, but also making a profit, which is completely exactly why builders are in the game. It's a big balance. So a lot of the time we take out a lot of new kitchens, which is quite sad, I think.
Yeah, I think that creates a massive amount of waste, which is something that deserves to be addressed on its own, I think.
There is a movement which is very slow about the government putting in legislation about fit for purpose design on new builds. So hopefully, as we move throughout the next decade, probably, there may be more emphasis on reducing that waste from putting in insufficient fixings.
Oh, that's really nice. I didn't know that.
that would be great if that did materialize. Because sustainability is obviously a big thing and something that should be considered in design.
Nowadays, especially, it's becoming quite a big factor, I think, in everyday decisions, even.
And, it's much more than water saving, which is something governments come in, or your LED lights. There's so much more to consider when it comes to the sustainability of it.
And that's the whole home, not just the kitchen.
Yeah. Undoubtedly.
Yeah.
So, back onto topic.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went very serious then. You said about maybe considering a new build if you, at this point of completing your project of, I'd get a new build next time so I can just walk in and deal with it. I don't believe her. But where having had a new build and now having had a doer-upper, what do you think the balance is? How are you thinking about it?
I think the balance is you can get a lot more for your money if you're willing to put some work into it. And this is what we aimed at. We have a garden that the size of this garden we would never be able to afford in a new built house. We now have inside like finishes that we would have never been able to afford in a new build. And I think that comes at the price of time, effort, and mental health to an extent.
Character building, absolutely, yes, definitely. I think it's definitely worth, because then you get to preserve and sort of sustain a house that is already there, that is quite a lot solid. And when I say solid, like everything is breeze block in this house, concrete, just nothing rings hollow. And I was kind of tired of that in a new build, because I could hear everything the neighbors were saying and it was driving me up the wall. And of course, from new build to new build, there's such a massive difference. Like there are developers out there that are doing fantastic things. But we were very sort of bottom of the road type of new build. There was nothing fancy or thought throughout about it. So that makes a big difference. And I completely agree about what you said with the area. It's already a developed area. It's somewhere where you kind of know where you're going.
which again, with our previous area, we had no idea what it's going to be. And ultimately we didn't like it. But now where was I going with this? What was I saying? What did you ask?
Well, what do you think? Do you think you would buy a new build or do a wrap up, or would you go kind of somewhere in the middle, somewhere that was livable but had?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we thought our house was livable when we bought it. Turned out it wasn't. So you just don't know, because that's the other thing. When you're buying a new house, what do you get? Like 15 minutes to look around, and you have to base your decision on that. And
we get critiqued for the little worktop samples.
Yeah, I know. Insane, right?
Yep.
It's really hard to make. Yeah, literally, people spend more time picking the kitchen with us than they would buying the house in the first place. Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah. Yeah, completely. You've just frozen in time, haven't you?
My own mind right now.
I think when it comes to kind of new builds, I think that the security of the warranties and a lot of the incentives for first-time buyers and things are really good and helpful to get people onto the market, though. So first-time buyers, and if you're downgrading as well, if you're thinking you're going to make your final move, I think that's potentially another really good time to do it, because there's less to take on.
Yeah.
And
yes,
think
there's
about
less maintenance. You'd think, but then not always. Our bathroom in the apartment needed to demold it all the time because there was no window and the ventilation was not sufficient. So we had to like constantly like spray molding spray in a bathroom without ventilation. So you can imagine that wasn't very nice.
Poor planning.
Poor planning, exactly. It's just, we have a window now.
Good windows.
Amazing.
So on that, what about what we haven't touched on, self-builds?
Oh, okay. That's something I think you need to dive into, because I don't know many people who've built their own houses.
I don't know personally. I've worked with a lot of clients.
Yeah.
And I would love to do a self-build, although I would just go into a spiral of making decisions, because I would want everything all of the time, all at once, without having to wait for it. Yeah. So that spiral would be never ending. But with self-builds, I think it's interesting working with clients who have done that, because they've gone to the architect, they've had 15 versions, they've come to us, and we sit down and we're talking to them about how they're going to use their house and why they've made decisions that they have and what they need from it. And then we start moving the walls as well, which can be challenging on all parts, but making sure that it works for your lifestyle. And it goes back to what we were saying about your renovation, just having those second pair of eyes or a couple of different disciplines looking at it in order
that's really important,
to be really thorough in what those decisions are, and that you've thought about it from several different aspects, because your architect's thinking about the aesthetics, the impact on the environment, the planning control, the materials that are being used, whereas when you come into the interiors, you're then looking at the flow, the function, the hard fittings, and then you move into more of your soft and your textiles and the more minute and fun elements of the property as well. So being able to look at all of that cohesively, which is just mind-blowing in the amount of decisions that you need, can be really overwhelming, but very fun. And you see so many different types of people and lifestyles and characters when you're working on a new build, and you just get to know people on a very different level on the self builds, and the creations can be mind blowing. I'm going to use your word, mind blowing, in what they do with the whole kind of house, which is lovely. But on the flip side of that, I've also seen people who have done self builds and had taken 3, 4, 5, 6 years to do the build. And that's, after the 3 years of getting it through planning in the first place. It can be a real long process and labor of love to get there. So there's a huge emotional toll that is taken on those. But you do theoretically get everything that you want. But having not lived in there, you don't know that it's going to work. So take an experience of your own house or previous homes and replicating that onto a single, usually rectangular piece of paper.
Yeah.
It can be quite difficult to see how it's going to work for you.
Almost feels like you should be having like a continuous list. If your end goal is to build your own house one day, just wherever you're living, just make a list of all the things you like and don't like. And then eventually when you get there, you have the possibility to do that. Then
so my outlook was, we'll do an extension and make the mistakes now.
Mm-hmm.
So we've done the extension and the renovation. We know what we like, what's worked, what hasn't, what we'll do differently, what we want more or less of.
Yeah.
And then we'll go and do it again
Mm-hmm.
to see if our solutions have worked or if they've just created different issues. And then hopefully we'll get the self-build. However, my desire to move at all is non-existent. So if I'll ever get there, that will be completely different. I'll just live through all of our clients instead.
Vicariously.
Yeah.
You get to do that.
You do, definitely.
Yeah. Channel that home renovation energy into someone else's home.
Yeah. So anyway, moving back to new builds versus kind of your renovations, we speak a lot about renovations and existing properties because that is what we do predominantly.
That's what we do, yeah.
That is us all over. But when we have worked on new builds, I think that, as I was saying with the blank canvas, a lot of people find that very kind of inspiring in the sense that they can do anything, that they don't have the restrictions of painting over the dark blue wall that someone had once done, or the wallpaper on the wallpaper, or tiles on the tiles. They don't have those challenges to overcome.
Yeah.
And if we are looking into making some more major changes and renovations, they have had warranties. We know that everything is up to at least, in 2025, you'd know that a build in 2022 would have met those regulations. There's less upgrades, less disruption throughout the house.
Yeah.
From the knock-on work that could have been done.
Yeah.
So I think there are definitely pros and cons, and it really comes down to each person's kind of the reason behind why they're looking to kind of move, what they're looking to achieve, and how much energy and time they have to put into those renovations and making all of those decisions.
I agree. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
And it's just always overestimate how much energy and time you need.
Absolutely.
Double it up and then see if you have that.
Yeah, indeed. Even with those new builds, there's still so many questions and decisions to make. Not having all of that inherent problem or history, all of the baggage that an older property comes with, can just make the whole process a lot easier.
Exactly. And all of that character you see in that old house, do you have the opportunity to maintain it? As in that beautiful thatched roof on the cottage? Do you have
the chimney sweep to do the chimney
sweep? Yes. Yeah. It's a lot about, I think, keeping in mind the budget. You're going to need to maintain that character, the energy, the hassle to do it as well. And in the end, after adding all of these things up, are you still going to love it? Or are you going to be looking at it and scoffing because it's yet another thing you need to add to your daily routine? And if all these boxes are like, yes, then
you
go for an older property. Yeah. But if you just want to like sleep there, eat there, paint the walls a nice color so it reflects your personality, then new build's the way to go, I guess.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. And thank you all to listening. Again, as ever, if you want to leave a comment, please do. And we ask you to like, share, and listen to the next episodes. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And look forward to speaking to you again soon.
See you next time.